forward to this. Okay, welcome. My name is Katie Cleesby, and I am the founder and owner of Rexpert. So we are a marketplace to find recreational activities and coaches near you. And we host our weekly Wellness Wednesdays and different topics to support. I just got the PowerPoint presentation, Natasha, and to support local coaches and wellness experts and to help customers find and learn a little bit about health and wellness as well. So I'm excited to introduce to you Natasha Frisk with Natasha's Wellness. And today she's going to be talking us about our crucial role that our gut plays in our overall well-being, valuable insights and tips and strategies to optimize our gut health. And so welcome, Natasha. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hello, thank you, Katie, for having me. I'm very excited to jump on board for this wonderful cause of introducing wellness to everybody out there, because we are still learning and information of health and wellness. And it's very important, if you're trying to be your own wellness crusader, to have all this information. I'm excited to share some gut health knowledge with you all today. We're going to go over some things you probably already know, but I wanted to enlighten and enrich some of those things and give you more valuable information that you can use on it. Oh, wonderful. Okay. So let me introduce myself. So I am Natasha Frisk. I am the owner of Natasha's Natural Wellness, also the owner of Fitness and Energy Wellness. And I started this journey of health and wellness for myself in the beginning, and then I just got very involved and very enamored in it, especially when it comes to women's health and wellness and family health and wellness. So I've been a health and wellness professional for the last 10 years through fitness and nutrition and natural solutions, as in herbs, essence flowers, and food also. So I've studied through AFPA, through Trinity Natural School of Health, and also through Precision Nutrition for Exercise. So with that love of everything, I have Fit Tour as group fitness, and I am personally trained and also a Pilates instructor, that is Mat Pilates. I have Katie doing work over here. And we can go to the next slide, Katie. Sorry. I'm doing work over here, but that's me. So last 10 years I've been doing that. So all this information today is just for general knowledge. It's not a substitute for medical advice or treatment, because I am not a medical professional. I am just a holistic health specialist who specializes in education, teaching you the importance of food and everything naturally around us, the environment around us, herbs and all of that. So all of this information is intended for your knowledge, for you to pursue better wellness through you. So this information and the recipes are to be used with guidance of your doctor or anything like that too. So we're going to get right into it. So these are our program overviews. We're going to go a little bit over the gut microbiome, things to help boost immunity, the connection for gut and health and mental clarity, and then also give you some everyday tips that can help you with your gut health as well. So the first thing we need to understand is understanding the role of digestion and where it all begins. So it's dis-ease, not together, but there is a dis-ease in the body when we have different things going on. So the gut, it all starts in the gut. And remember, it's here and then also in our brain gut too. So these are the objectives of that. All right, so digestion is a crucial part of learning. So digestion is the body's ability to absorb nutrients and energy, and it is an essential part of our overall health. So every day we drink or we consume foods, and we're putting the body at work. So every day the body has to break down what we put into our mouths, whether it's food, whether it's a drink, and it has to separate into nutrients and put it where it needs to go. Digestion begins in the mouth, where our food is breaking down in saliva. The tongue helps to mix all of that together, and it breaks it down with these enzymes. So we have built-in enzymes that help to break down the food process as well. From the stomach, the mood will travel into our small intestines, if you can follow this picture along here. And then that's where a majority of digestion is absorbed of all of our nutrients take place. So we chew the food, the saliva gives us some of the enzymes, break it down into the nutrients. Then it travels into our stomach, which goes into our small intestines, where a lot of our food turns into, where I'm sorry, where a lot of the nutrients are, and it absorbs. After that, the pancreas and the liver assist with the digestion process as well. And they create more digestive enzymes in the form of bile, which helps to break down that as well. So there is a lot of good acid going in our body. We have stomach acid that also helps to break down food and make sure we get the nutrients that we need. The liver creates its bile to break down the nutrients and everything as well too. So everything is working together. So after that, after everything is broken down, it travels into the large intestine where we move, and that's where we make our elimination. So that's where everything eliminates through the large intestines. And that is the proper way for our overall digestion. Thank you, Katie, for moving my slides.
No problem.
So we're going to go into our Yes. So this is why our gut health matters. So not only does it matter for the breakdown of food, but it also matters for the breakdown of emotions too. So a lot of my learning is through traditional Chinese medicine. So we have a lot of westernized medicine here. The ease of the medicine means that it puts the body and the mind together. So remember that the gut brain, that's what it's talking about. It has That's where the emotions rely on. So when it says our mood and mental well-being, the gut and the that connection impacts the mood, stress levels. Think of times if you're stressed and your stomach gets upset. Think of when you were a child. You would get the butterflies and the nervousness in your stomach. That's that gut brain connection right there. That's that emotion right there. Also, inflammation. If we have chronic stages of inflammation where your joints are achy, it could be chronic bloating. That's also going to be a sign of a gut that needs some support and some health. We have a lot of different micros in our body, a lot of different things moving around. I call them little soldiers. So we have a lot of soldiers in our bodies that move around and make sure our walls are always protected, make sure we are healthy, make sure we are striving. But sometimes if some soldiers fall down, that wall is vacant. So things start to move in. So we always have to make sure that our resources are full, and after that, so the energy we output, we also have to make sure we're putting that back in. So we can move to the next slide now. The gut microbiome is basically a very, very diverse ecosystem in us. And so it's thousands of different microorganisms, and every person is uniquely designed with different microorganisms. We have trillions of them inside our gut, and they collectively weigh about 2 to 4 pounds per the average adult. So the dynamic balance of the reason why we have to have our gut microbiome to be healthy is because it carries all of these different microorganisms. It carries all these different species. And if one of them gets sick, then the others alter. So we want to make sure that they don't get sick. We want to make sure there is no dis-ease in our gut microbiome. We need to keep that ecosystem running, moving smoothly. And we can do that with different foods, the environment that we're in, and everything else. And we'll cover that too. So nutrient absorption is very, very impactful for this. So the gut microbiomes may be the root cause. So if you have any health problems, think of if you go from being bloating to gassy, or if you go from having constipation to diarrhea, there's a disruption there in your gut microbiomes. All right, we can move to the next slide. So this is what we want. When I was thinking of an ecosystem of our bodies, I was thinking of that picture that was just there before. Think of a beautiful landscaping. That's what we want our overall gut microbiome to be. Just beautiful, nothing clogging it, very rich, very enticing, very nature, very free, right? But there are things that we can help to enhance this. And we're going to go right into that one right now. To the next slide over there. Awesome. So we're going to go into your probiotics, and we're going to start right there with that. So probiotics, we'll talk about essential nutrients and also mindful practices. And we can move to the next slide here. Oh, I think there's a chat. Okay. All right, so probiotics. So this has been the enticing thing to learn about the last few years. It just sprung up like probiotics. We want to do probiotic yogurt. We want to do probiotic beverages, as in kombucha. We want to do probiotic fermented foods. But why do we want to do these? Because we want to keep those little microorganisms in our gut microbiome happy. And the way to do that, and the way to keep it happy, and the way to make sure there's no dis-ease is enriching our diets with probiotic foods, like here in this picture. So they're going to be naturally found in fermented foods like yogurt, like kefir and sauerkraut, and some supplements as well. They help to break down food. They help to improve nutrient absorption. So remember, when we're eating the food, it starts in the mouth. The saliva breaks it down because we have built-in enzymes, and then that is where nutrients happen. So when we say nutrients, it's not about the food, it's the food that we're eating. The food turns into the nutrients, and that's how we are absorbing it. So probiotics help with that. Think of eating spicy food. Say your body kind of rejects it in a way that you burp or you're gassy a couple of days after. But if you were to enrich your diet, and you love spicy food, but if you were to enrich your diet with more probiotic riching foods, then it'll help with your gut microbiome and breaking down that food so it can be nutrient for you. Another thing it also helps too is probiotics help to alleviate irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea, or IBD as well too. So we want to enrich our diet with probiotics. Another thing we want to do too is we want to make sure other essential things that we're getting in our diet are going to be healthy omega fatty acids, vitamins and minerals, and fiber. So omega fatty acid helps with that gut brain combination again. With think of your mood, your gut brain mood. A lot of the times, us women especially, we're not getting the omega fatty acids that we need, and that can alter with your mood. That can have a shift in that. It also can alter in your pH balance in your stomach acid as well. That can alter that too. We need fat. Fat helps with our hearts, it helps with our brain health, and it helps with our gut health too. But it also helps with our emotional well being as well. Some of the vitamins and minerals that we need that are especially important to contributing to a healthy gut microbiome are going to be your B vitamins, B6 especially, and also B4. You're also going to be enriching your diet full of minerals as in magnesium and potassium to help support good pH balance, good stomach acid. And again, probiotic foods as well to enhance digestion, breakdown, and nutrient absorption. And then fiber. We need fiber. Fiber helps us with elimination. Not only does it help with if you're trying to do weight loss or weight management and you want to stay fuller longer, it helps with that. But we need fiber because fiber is the way that it cleans out waste or build up in our body, and fiber helps us to eliminate that. So we definitely want to make sure our bodies is enriched with fiber, and you'll get most of your fiber from fruits and vegetables. So eating a very balanced diet that includes everything that I've talked about, the omegas, the omega fatty acids, the omega 3s, also enriching it with fiber, your fruits and your vegetables, whole grains as well. And then you want to also include probiotics and food form. Sometimes some food form may not be good for a certain individual, and there are different supplements. There are different ways that you can do that as well too, because we have to remember that we are individuals and we all have different bodies. And also, as we go into different ages and stages, our digestive health will change as well too. So that's why we need to really look at your diet at every age and stage of life and see what you may be missing, see what you may need to replace. I have Katie working over here. She's my assistant for the day. Thank you, Katie.
No
when
problem.
it
Did it go on to the next
When it
slide?
comes Oh, yes, you're good. So when it comes to digestive foods, especially enriching our vitamins and minerals, I have some pictures here, and you'll see a certain pattern with these pictures coming up. You'll see the color yellow. So the yellow color, it represents digestion. If there's anyone in here that is into whole body healing, as I am, I look at this as a chakra stand base too. So again, tying in with those emotions, right? So yellow represents digestion. Not only food digestion, but you have a good way of digesting life. You have a good way of digesting and taking in news, whether it's good news or bad news. So that's what you'll see, a lot of those things. You'll see a lot of yellow popping up with that. And so these are just pictures below because they are rich in antioxidants and also fiber. And then other things we want to do to help run our digestive system properly, again, is we're going to hit fiber, B vitamins, antioxidants, water, and healthy fats. So again, talking about fiber. Fiber again is another way with our digestive tract, right? It makes everything move. So think of your digestive system, as we saw earlier in that picture, as pipes in your house, right? If your pipes are clogged, what do you have to do? You call a plumber, right? So in this instant, your pipes are clogged, you want to call fiber. Fiber is the friend. So you want to make sure that each meal you're having pineapple are very fibrous. They're full of antioxidants, as in vitamin C, but they also have brolamine. And brolamine is an enzyme blend that helps to break down foods, but also helps to reduce inflammation. So pineapple is good. So the fruits and vegetables, they have another, yes, they're good for nourishing us, but they also have those other supporting things that we need too, that we are faced with in our everyday environment. So the most fibrous rich foods right now that are in season are going to be, think of your greens. So think of kale and spinach. Those are really good. Think of your squashes. Right now we're in winter. So we want to do potatoes. They're going to be fibrous. Squash, any variety of squash, spaghetti squash, yellow squash, zucchini squash. Those are very fibrous. They're very water as well too. They're very hydrating. So we want to make sure that, and when you're eating these vegetables, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're getting the adequate amounts of water because they're so fibrous, but you're also getting that fiber that helps remove that gut waste out of your body. We can move to the next one too. So essentially, fiber is just, it promotes regular bowel movements. And you'll hear me say this a lot because it is one of the normal things for us to do when it's the process of elimination is to have a bowel movement. We want to regularly have a bowel movement, at least one a day. If you are not having one bowel movement a day, um, I would say talk to your physician because there is a cause for concern there. That means that I can't diagnose, but there's something that means that you need to support your system, your digestive system there. And also, if you go from constipation to diarrhea or to skipping, you know, let your healthcare provider know because you want to make at least one bowel movement a day. So fiber also is known to help you feel fuller longer. So, this is important for individuals who are trying to stay in, say, weight maintenance or who are trying to improve weight loss. So, one of the things we have to be really tricky about, or we really want to pay attention to, is when you're going shopping and you'll see things that say fiber one or extra fiber or any of those type of things. Um, Fibers from fruits and vegetables. When we get things that are in a package form, they strip all of the nutrients and all of the things, all of the living things that we need, and they refill it with other synthetic things. So you could be eating fiber, but most likely you're eating a synthetic form of fiber. You're not eating a natural living form of fiber, because they had to package it up and preserve it with other things. So if you can, if you don't like fruits and vegetables, you know, and you
you want to see the email we sent in.
Hang on, let me see who's got there.
oh,
Somebody that hasn't muted. I think everybody's muted.
okay.
Okay. Can you still see the screen?
Oh, yes. Oh, I see your screen in myself.
Oh, okay. Everyone's muted. Okay, sorry about that. All right, share screen. Desktop 2. Share.
Oh, beautiful. Yes. So yes, when you're going into the store and you're going to see things that say extra fiber or fiber one, you want to just go for fruits and vegetables. Go for the living fiber versus the packaged fiber, because that's most likely going to be a synthetic fiber. And these are all some other things too. You know, when we eat these foods, this is what the our bodies could look like inside. Everything's together. So we have our lungs, you know, you have your large intestines, your small intestines, you have your liver, your gallbladder, your spleen, and this is how we want to be. We want to be clean and fresh and everything together. And fruits and vegetables help that, lean proteins help that, healthy fats help that. So these are some of our allies for supporting our immune system. So another good thing is, when we're eating fruits and vegetables, we have to think about antioxidants. So antioxidants are going to be enriched in the color of the fruit and vegetables. So think of bright blue for blueberries or bright red for red bell peppers. The more color and enriching fruits and vegetables you eat in your diet, the more you will help to have a healthy gut microbiome as well. Also, it'll help with your immune system as well, because antioxidants help to protect us against free radicals. Think of our environment that you're in, whether it's your home environment, your work environment, outside the environment. So those things are going to help support our overall health and making sure that if something, an invader tries to get in, you're protected because you've been eating your antioxidants, you've been eating your fiber, you know, you're ready for battle, so to speak. Healthy fats. We want to eat fat because they help us absorb vitamins. So you want to eat A, D, E, and K. And when I say eating fat, you want to eat your protein with this. You want to eat, say, avocados with this. Those are good fats. So you want to eat with those vegetables. Water soluble vegetable, or sorry, with water soluble vitamins are going to be B vitamins. Funny enough, B vitamins are water soluble. Think about this: when you're sweating, when you urinate, you are relieving yourself of B vitamins. So we have to constantly make sure that we're eating enriching B foods. So think of a lot of B foods you'll find are going to be animal products, so eggs, butter, meat, where we're going to have a majority of our B vitamins. You can take B supplements, but again, check your levels, do your blood work before all of that. But just know that in order for your body to absorb the vitamins A, D, E, and K, you have to eat a meal with them because they are fat soluble vitamins. Another thing you can do too is eating fat helps to reduce inflammation. So good fat, so omega 3s. We don't want to do too many omega 6s. Omega 6 is going to be your canola oil, your vegetable oil, the high frying type of oils. We don't want to constantly bring those into our bodies because those are inflammatory oils. We want to do anti-inflammatory foods in oils. So olive oil, sunflower oil is going to be okay here and there. It's not the highest of omega-6, but it does have a little bit of it. Other good oils are going to be, your flaxseed oil. You can do flaxseed as the powder form. That's another good fat. Or you can cook with it as an oil form. But eating good fat helps with protecting the gut, and as well as too. And then next things we want to do is, once you have your plan together of eating well and eating better for your gut, you want to do it mindfully. So some ways you can do mindful eating is practice your chewing. So when we chew our food, I think I remember when I was really young, they were saying count to 20 or count to 30 or see how many times you can count and chew your food because you wanted to try to get into a liquid form. And the reason for that is because it helps with digestion. Remember, our bodies are always working. So the more that we chew our food and the more we break it down, the more it doesn't have to break the food down. Another good thing too is to listen to your hunger cues and your fullness cues. So, we want to eat until you're satisfied, eat a little bit or eat as much as you can until you're satisfied and recognize that. But don't eat until you're full, meaning you're really tight in the belly or you feel like you could take a nap or something. Think of Thanksgiving, right? Think of all of those holidays. You want to eat until you're satisfied. There's a difference. And then if you want some more, then you can go back to it. Another thing is to reduce distractions. So instead of watching TV, sit at the table, have a conversation, or maybe sit in quiet. Think about how much noise is around your environment on the daily, and maybe some peace and quiet will be good. Maybe a distraction would be good. And that way you can actually enjoy your food. You can have a better connection to it. You can smell the food, you can taste the food, and practice gratitude and appreciation. If you're a person that believes in gratifying your food with prayer, then go ahead, or just giving thanks to, the food in front of you somehow. But if you practice that, it makes it more enjoyable and it makes digestion much more easy again because of that gut brain emotion connection right there. So when we're eating mindfully, but like I said, you're paying attention to the sensations, you're paying attention to the smells, you're paying attention to how it feels, the tongue feel, the mouth feel, and everything too. So that can help you to slow down and really be grateful for the meal that you're having. But also, when we slow down, it also helps with digestion because the more that we can slow down and the less work that we can bring on our body, it's easier for it to break everything down and to bring it into where it needs to go. Some other things that can do too are you could add some herbal remedies into your everyday plan as well. Chamomile and ginger and peppermint are really good for digestion and for helping to break down. So again, think of a meal that you really like. Maybe it could be a comfort meal or it could be something quick. And this meal will give you, say, bloat, or this food will give you indigestion, but you really like it, right? It's something that you really enjoy. But you don't enjoy what happens after the meal. So prepare your body. Have some peppermint tea before or after. Cook with ginger. Help your digestion be the best and it can be. So you are the person that can support that. So introduce these different herbs and different methods to it. So when we are nourishing the digestive system, we want to make sure we're eating a nutrient dense meal. So again, we want to eat the colors. We want to have a good lean protein. We also want to have a good fat. You want to eat mindful, practice your mindful eating, chewing, making a game of it if you need to. See if you can count to 20 or 2 to 30, staying hydrated. So if you don't like water, make sure you're eating hydrating foods. Again, right now we're in the winter season. Spring vegetables aren't going to happen until mid-April. So right now you're going to fill up on your squashes, your greens. These things are rich in chlorophyll. They're rich in fiber. They're also very rich in water. You want to exercise and move regularly because exercise helps with digestion. It helps us to break things down. It helps us to digest again in life as well. It helps us to manage stress as well too. And then there's other things that you can do for healing. So, for instance, prayers really well, meditation, yoga. If any of those other energy healing modalities that you would like to do too.
There we go.
Oh, we go to the next slide. Yeah.
All right, there's a little delay.
So back to the gut brain connection. So stress can definitely wreak havoc on your gut and brain connection because two things happen. If the gut and the brain are in constant communication, right? And say you're having a great day, or if say you're having a bad day, you get up and you're late to work or you're late to an event, and then because you're late to work, there's traffic. Then because you're late to work, there's traffic. Then you're late to your meeting, and so forth and so forth, right? So your brain is already upset. That is the emotion right there, and then your gut starts to take that on too. So then you lose your appetite because you're so upset. Or maybe something else happens. Maybe you have diarrhea because you're so upset. There is that emotion, that chronic stress right there can disrupt the microbiome. So when we're having emotions, it'll go into the center right here, which is our solar plexus, our sacral right here. But it also has that connection to the mind too, because if we're thinking something, we're gonna feel something. So that's the gut and brain connection right there when it comes to that emotional component. It also messes with our conjugative function. So think of memory. So we're constantly on the go. We constantly have to think of all these things. We constantly have so much responsibility. Sometimes we forget things, right? Because maybe you're saying, oh, I'm disorganized, or I can't, I lack focus because of this, because of that. It's that connection again. If this is not connected to our gut, if there's a disarray, then there's that imbalance of that as well too. So things we want to do for helping to improve your conjugative memory is lion's mane is really good for focus and memory. I'm actually drinking some lion's mane tea right now. Also, making sure you are having good magnesium, having good B vitamins. B is mood, B is brain. Again, fat. See how it's all working together. So when the things we're eating and the things that we're saying also have an affection on that. So we want to bring our gut and brain into harmony, and ways to do that is to be mindful when you're eating. And not just sitting down eating, being mindful in the act of eating. So if you are we cook a lot at home. We tend to not go out as much. So that's another practice you can do too, because however you're feeling, if you're feeling rushed, if you're feeling thrown off because you have to prepare a meal, that will go into that meal. So be mindful in the preparation of cooking your meal, and also be mindful in eating your meal as well too. So make sure you're in a relaxed environment. Put some music on if you want to, or just be nice and peace and quiet if you want to. Can we go back to that one slide there, Katie?
Yep, sorry about that.
And so that's another way. And then make sure that you're also putting in your probiotics, rich foods, again, fermented foods. So sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, here and there. And also make sure you're prioritizing fiber rich foods too. So another thing, so say you're doing all of these. We can go back to the next one. So say you're doing all of these practices, you're practicing, you have probiotics, you're taking a supplement, you are practicing mindful eating, you are moving, you're exercising, you're doing gratitude, but there's still something array. So when I went to school, I learned about this program, and this is a program that I've used for myself to help with my digestive challenges. And also, this is the program that I use with my clients. So it's called the 5R protocol. So in this protocol, this program is very therapeutic, and it is a functional type of nutrition program that addresses gastrointestinal issues to help promote better gut health. So in the 5R program, the number one thing we're going to do is remove foods that trigger, or remove anything from your environment that trigger your gastrointestinal tract. This could be removing, allergy foods, things, intolerance foods that you don't even know maybe have, and things in the environment. So that can mean, when I say environment, your hand soaps, your face creams, maybe your clothes, something on your clothes. So that's the things that you will remove, because remember, whatever we put on our skin goes into our bloodstream, which goes into our gut as well. So you would have to do that. The next R is going to be replace. So what you're going to do is, after you remove these things from the diet, from the environment, and from yourself as well, you're going to replace them with things that help improve your environment and your body and your diet. After that, it could be adding in proper digestive enzymes to help you break down food to make sure that your nutrients and everything's getting absorbed. It could be to remove a face cream that was giving you a rash, because it didn't go work well with your skin. So do something more natural, more plant-based. It could be to remove, your sheets from your bed. Maybe they're causing you something, but those are the things that you would remove. You would find out what the irritant is and remove it. Then you would replace it with something that's not irritant. And then after that, you would repair. So the repair is really crucial for your gut. So some of the things you'll repair with your gut are L-glutamine, digestive enzymes if needed. If your diet is lacking fibrous foods, then you would put in fibrous foods, and real foods. Supplements are there just to supplement, to help you to put back in your reserves and to help you build it up. But after that, we don't need to continuously take supplements unless you fall down again. But other than that, that's what supplements are there. They're just there to help you build back up your reserves. You're still going to enrich your diet and make sure you're eating all whole foods and more, more lean proteins and everything. And then after your diet is ready, then you built that up. So you don't really need to have supplements all the time. Maybe using a everyday multivitamin because of, our soil and what our food is eating and what that food is lacking. So yes, for multivitamins, and even possibly yes to keep digestive enzymes, but then you would take your supplements and make it more of a protocol, more of a yearly or a seasonal protocol, maybe not an everyday thing. The next R would be to renoculate. So what that means is to put everything back in. And so essentially you're doing an elimination diet with the support and understanding of, once you eliminate these things and you figured out what the trigger is, the trigger does not come back in. So then after you renoculate, you put everything back together, you relax. It's going to take a little bit of time for the gut to repair. Think about how many times you've had, say, stomach poisoning, or how many times you've had some type of illness in your stomach. When we have those type of illnesses throughout life, our gut lining needs repair. And we don't know that. That's not something that we're taught. So we have to remember that these things like L-glutamine, digestive enzymes, probiotics, these are going to be important in those people's lives, especially if they have IBS or IBD, because of their gut lining. It's always inflamed. So those things are going to be important to have in their protocol. So if you register with any of those things may be important to have in your protocol too. You have to look at yourself as individual. Think about everything that I've said in this lecture. If any of those things resonated with you, if you go from bloat to diarrhea to constipation to not having a bowel movement to eating food and still kind of feeling full, or waking up feeling lethargic and tired, or having your face feeling kind of like sinus, congested or anything, then those are things that those are signs that something's going on in your gut history right there. So the next thing would be, after you do this program, the 5R program, then you put everything back together. Yep, we can go to, yes. So, we can skip all these because, again, you would remove the foods, you would keep a journal during this program. You would write down the full elimination. You would do a following, then you do gluten-free and dairy-free. So that would be the remove, because those are the things, when you remove gluten, because those are the things that are mostly really intolerable to people right now, is gluten. And it could be the gluten, it could be how the gluten is raised. We don't know, but you would just remove it because it's one of those things that show up on the allergy sheet, and dairy as well too. Again, it could be not necessarily dairy, but it could be how the dairy is raised. Then you would replace the stomach acid with more alkaline rich foods. So think of an alkaline water. Evian is an alkaline water, so you would do that. So waters of high pH. You would bring in digestive enzymes. Again, this would be an individual basis. Check your bile and then your nutrients as well. And then after the replace, we would do repair the damage. So by repairing the damage of the gut lining, as I was explaining earlier, you would do L-glutamine, you could do zinc, we could do bone broth, but you don't have to do them all together. You would just pick one because it's easier to do just one thing at a time and stick in building one habit first. So the easiest one I've used with my clients is bone broth. It's very simple, it's very easy. You would just have a cup of bone broth in the morning before you would have your coffee or before you would have your meal, because the bones have all of the nutrients. Think of all the minerals and all the vitamins in that. And that's what you want to give your gut. So everything we learned today, when it's coming back to helping and protecting and with the gut microbiome, bone broth would be a really good thing to add in to your everyday diet because it has those vitamins of the zinc and it has your bone, it has all the good minerals in there too. And that's what we need. A lot of things, a lot of times we are minerally challenged or minerally deficient. So when we're doing bone broth, we're enriching and putting those back in. So if you could do one thing, I would say to do that. Probiotics, yes, we went over that too. Probiotics have a ton of health benefits, fermented foods and everything, help with digestion, help with breakdown. So we know all of that. So a couple of these slides are going to be kind of repeats.
Let's see. Reacting
Yes,
polyphenols.
polyphenols are another way to say antioxidants, by the way. So if you've come across that, it's just another way to say antioxidants.
Okay.
And these are all things that have polyphenols in them. Green tea or antioxidants, cranberry juice, ginger, quercetin. Quercetin you're going to find in your citrus fruits. So you can do like keep the skins of, say, your oranges, and you could boil these skins of your oranges with a cinnamon stick and a little bit of ginger, and you can make your own little cup of quercetin tea right there. Quercetin is a great thing to help with immunity and protection. It's rich in antioxidants. So remember, antioxidants protect us against the radicals, the things that want to come into our bodies, the pathogens that want to get us and have us make that dis-ease, right? So ginger, blackberry, strawberry. So when we come into spring, make sure you get all your berries, your blackberries, your blueberries, your raspberries, because those are going to have high amounts of vitamin C and some quercetin as well too. Okay, and remember prebiotics. So prebiotics are going to be asparagus is really good. Those are going to be as well. They're going to be high in all of our plant foods. So bananas are really good. Bananas are good prebiotic food, and they're really good for potassium, which is good for our gut as well. Leafy greens are going to be good too. So one of the things you can do in the morning for your prebiotic foods is you can make a little breakfast salad. So you could do a salad with spinach, some blueberries, and then you can even cook some eggs and mix that together. Sounds wild, but it's actually really tasty. All right. So after all of this, you put it all together, you have your plan, then you're finally balanced. You're at a great emotional balance. You are eating healthy. You're moving with exercise. You're moving with confidence, your mindfulness, and your energy. So putting it all together will help you to get a better balanced gut microbiome. So these are some examples of some whole foods that you can use, and all of these foods are enriched to help with better gut harmony. So your nuts and your seeds, those are going to be your healthy fats, right? Those are going to be your omegas. Your fruits and your vegetables, think fiber, think water, think again, vitamins and minerals. When you're doing your lean meats, if you can, shop your best at farmers market or locally, because they're going to be the ones that are going to give the animals the best feed, but they're going to be grazing. They're going to be out in nature. They're going to have that energy. So that's why it's good to support local and go to your farmers markets, because they're going to be treating your food with mindfulness and care, because they want you to have great food. They want you to have a good experience. So think of that too. That's another mindful practice when you're shopping. Be mindful of where you're buying your produce. Be mindful of where you're getting your meat right there too. So that's another good mindful practice to do. Whole grains are good as well. So this would be your plate right here. This is an example. So you want to make sure that you're having your healthy fats either on your plate or cooking with them, with your butter or with your olive oil, your vegetables, your fruits, and then maybe try to do one at a time. So maybe have a salad for lunch with loaded with vegetables and some lean protein, and then maybe for dinner have a protein and one vegetable. Maybe not put it all together at once, because that could be a sign too, because that's another way that we overwork our bodies, and that could cause bloat and unbalance as well too. So maybe just doing one at a time. Another good thing to do is listening to your hunger cues, so resetting that again. And the first thing to do is to start with water. So if you're not having enough water, and I always tell people to do the water test. So the water test is, lick your lips and see if you have saliva. Great. That means you're hydrated. Another test is, if you feel dry on your lips, if your tongue feels dry, have some water. And then the final test is the skin test. So if you pull the top of your skin right here in your hand and it takes a while for it to get back down, then that means you're dehydrated. But if it bounces right back quickly, that means you're hydrated. Another thing too is to be mindful of, your urine. See if it's really dark or see if it's really light. We want it to be the color of lemonade right there. And so that means that we're really hydrated. And remember, your kidneys are your filtration system. So they're filtrating everything out too. But yes, and those are plates. All right. So after all of that, you have your plan, you know what you're going to do, you're going to relax. And then these are the steps to relax. You're going to sit down. You're going to do not eat standing up. You want to sit down and enjoy your meal. Don't move around. Don't walk. You want to pause if you can. Sit in silence, take 30 seconds. And then just breathe. You want to chew your food slowly and deliberately. Pause in between bites of your food to allow your body to rest and process each bite. Right? And these are things that you can do for everyday relaxation. Exercise, sleep, therapy, meditation, all those things too. All right.
Did you need, are you, can you see the
Smart goals? Yep, no, we're good right there. And you can go to the next slide.
Okay.
And then setting SMART goals. So this is something I do with my clients in my group courses. So these are the goals that you want to do. Make sure they're measurable, meaning they're easy, they're doable. You don't mind doing them, right? It doesn't feel like work. They're attainable. They're something that you can continuously do. Again, it doesn't feel like work. They're relevant to what you are intentionally trying to do when it comes to your wellness. You're not trying to go above and beyond for you. It's just that's what you're doing. They're time bound. When it says time bound, don't give yourself a time limit. Give yourself time to do it. Don't be bound by your time. And make sure they are very specific, your goals. Okay. Don't say, oh, I want to lose weight. Yes, but why? You want to lose weight because of such and such, right? Or you want to be much more healthier because of such and such. One of my clients wants to do the AT trail. So they want to make sure that they're having efficient protein for their energy output. They want to make sure that they are having enough calories so they don't pass out. So those kind of specific goals right there. And then that's it. I think the next slide.
Oh.
And again, it just goes through, that's the 5R protocol. And you can, you might have to go all the way towards the end. I think there's 5 slides after that. Yeah. We're just going over all of our slides. That's it. All right. So please, if you have any questions or stories, thank you so much for letting me be on here, Katie. I'm so excited. If the participants have any questions, I guess the floor is yours, as they say.
And how can people contact you for information, like if they have some gut health challenges?
So if you go to the next slide, and I can send all that information to the chat. take a picture of this slide here, or you can, my email, I'll put that in the chat. So right now I'm booking for my holistic online wellness consultation. It's 50-minute consultation, and it'll go over what your health is presently, your medical health history, that's the initial assessment, and then what your health goals are. And that's I'm taking that right now, and you can book through my email with that. And then also I have my nutrition for digestive harmony course coming up, and that is a 4-week course coming up on February 5th, and you can sign up for the wait list for that. So this course is it's an interactive course, and it's going to come with cooking classes. It's going to come with it's going to come with a meal plan that we're all going to follow and pay attention to. It's going to come up. Also, the course is learning. So you're going to get all this information sent to you, and you'll also get a replay of everything too. So you'll have this course for life. If you ever have any questions, or if you wanted to go back, say we have a really good recipe of cooking our lentil acorn squash, and say, oh, I forgot that. So this is your course. You get to have this, and it's an interactive learning, meaning there's going to be other people in our group that are learning the same methods on how to be well and have digestive harmony as well too.
Okay, very cool. So you've got an upcoming 4-week online course, and then looks like you have some more information here.
Yes. So yes, I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. And my email is right above there if you want to screenshot that. Again, I can put my email in the chat here.
And we'll upload this recording to YouTube, and I'll send everybody who signed up and follow-up email with all this information on it, and the recording, they can rewatch it, and your info, and if anything else you want to send to the participants with a handout or your 4-week program that's coming up.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you, Katie. Well, thank you all for joining. I hope that I know there was a lot of information given to you today, but I hope that something resonated and really jumped out to you. If you ever, like, Katie's going to give you all my information. Feel free to send me a message if any questions as well too. And I hope that this series of gut health helped you all, and I hope you find more gut harmony in your new year.
Yeah. Before we go, does anybody have any particular set of questions or concerns or something that resonated with them in your presentation? You're welcome to come. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
I had a question. For someone like myself, I have celiac disease. For someone like myself, what would you recommend in terms of like whole grain foods for gut health?
Good question.
So you're gluten-free, correct? Or is that what you're doing right now?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to whole grains and you're doing gluten-free, I would suggest Aramith. I don't know if you're familiar with that, or maybe spelt.
Okay.
I don't know if you're so those would be really good grains, or even Aramith, spelt, and then I can't think of the other buckwheat groans would be okay too. But I would soak them all. It's like soak all of these before you use them. Give them a nice deep soak, a nice deep rinse before you use them. And I would say just play around with one at a time, and remember to journal it to see if you have any side effects, to see if there's anything going on. Have it plain, have it as a hot cereal first, and then you can do it as a cold salad, and then you can add it with some protein. But I would say first, just experiment. Have it as it is first, and then start to add on different things to it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great. We've got about 2 minutes left. Does anybody else have anything that they want to ask Natasha? I know that, growing up, I was, part of the 90s generation where you had to finish your milk and finish all your food on your table. And I didn't know that I've had dairy like up till college, and you weren't supposed to feel like that after every meal, with everything you talked about with your gut biome not happy. And I cut out dairy, and I felt 1,000 times better. And then I moved to being plant-based, vegan. I still have fish every now and then, about 10 years ago. And I've never felt better. I'm a cancer survivor, and I threw out all my medications because I went plant-based, and exercised through the whole thing. So I'm a huge component of fiber and, balanced diet and all that.
Yes.
It's changed my life, and it's challenging because
It is.
the world is not plant-based, right? It's getting
Yeah.
there. It's so
Yes.
much easier than
It's
it
very
was.
challenging.
Yeah.
I remember I had digestive issues since I was a teenager. And I remember having to get a colonoscopy in my teens because of that. And they just didn't know what it was. And then finally, after I had my son, I had to get another one. And the doctor said, you don't have enough fiber. And this is before I went back to school and learned all these things. And I was like, well, what's fiber? He's like, popcorn, just eat popcorn. I'm like, okay, so ask questions, number one, right? And so I changed my diet around it all. I used to do plant-based as well. I called myself a plant pescatarian. I did a lot of fish still and a lot of vegetables.
I like
I
that.
recently, my husband and I recently experiment with the carnivore diet, and I really enjoyed it, but I still miss my fruits and vegetables. So I brought this back. But what I didn't bring back was bread, and I didn't bring back a lot of gluten, and that helped me a lot. And so I released that from my everyday diet, and now I don't have a lot of joint inflammation anymore. I'm not having any bloating anymore. I do dairy sparingly because dairy is not my friend. Some people have the enzyme they're born with the enzyme to break down dairy. I was not born with that enzyme to break it down all the way. So I would have different, symptoms of it. But there's things that you can do. You have to tweak your diet. You have to figure out what's working, what's not working. And so for me, I tweaked my diet by adding in herbs, by adding in, the correct supplements that help with me. Bitters as well, too, is another thing. Bitters, they used to use those in big dinners. So think of kings and queens, and they would have those big, huge feasts. And after they would have their feast and before their feast, they would have a bitter because of digestion. They knew that they were eating these enriching this big feast, and they knew that they were putting their bodies to extra work. So the bitters helped to break things down. It's the same thing with having chamomile tea or ginger tea. So having those before or after a huge meal, just preparing yourself, being more mindful of where you're going and what you're going to be doing can actually be very helpful and beneficial when it comes to your gut health and harmony.
Well, thank you so much. This has been so knowledgeable and eye-opening. A lot of great information in there. And, we'll send everybody all this info. I'm going to stop the recording. I've got to run to my next meeting, but thank you so much, Natasha. And thank you everybody for joining us today. And we will follow up in the next 2 days with all this info.
All right. Thank you all so much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Stay warm.